Okay, hi everybody. Today I'm gonna show you one of my favorite solos that I've been playing around for all these years, and today I decided that it's possibly the best thing to do would be to get it right and to transcribe it note for note, which is quite a rare thing for me to do. But because this is, in my view, one of the best rock and roll solos that have been ever played, it deserves a closer look. So what we're gonna work on today is a brilliant part of Tommy Allsup, played on Buddy Holly's It's So Easy, as you obviously know from the title of the video. Uh, but apart from having a look at the old notes and articulation and everything that goes with it, I'll also have a look at at the little intricacies, how the solo works against the harmonias in the tune. Uh, so first of all, maybe we'll have a look at the chord structure before I put the tab on the screen, and we'll play it note for note. So basically, there are a couple of tiny little licks in the song in general that is in key of A major, and the song is on 1-4-5 progression, with usual Buddy Holly switches between 1-4, 1-5 in moments that you usually don't expect them. But this particular tune is pretty straightforward, and the solo is being played on a B section of the tune. So it starts with a 4 chord with D major that goes from D6 to D7 in a very clever way. So it's something like that. So there is a one clever chord in there. There is a 2 dominant chord thrown in, and it's a B7 chord that is also beautifully emphasized in the solo. So let's have a look. I'll play slowly the solo itself. It goes something like that, and I need to really read it off the screen because I'm still not sure what's in there. I haven't memorized it after all these years of playing it a little bit differently. But again, I want to do the justice to the tune, so it goes like that. And that's the whole thing. Let's have a look phrase by phrase what's going on in there, because the first chord is D major, so it's a 4 chord of the key, and we start with the chord shape, with the D chord shape in here in 12th position. I'll put the score up on the screen so that we can see what's going on in there. Okay, there you have it. So the first thing is 3 notes of D major triad, bar on 10th fret, 11th fret on 3rd string, and then there is an interesting thing because we have 6 of the chord. This is the first bar. So what I'm doing in here, I'm just holding the chord. What we can do to make it a bit cleaner, although in this particular case it's played on the very bright, clean tone, we don't have to worry about the notes ringing over each other. But I could also roll my fingers. So instead of going for this sound, I can make every note detached. although they're being held by this tiny little bar across two strings. I can rock tip of my finger to keep them separate. Again, matter of taste. If you like it one way or the other, it's all fine. It's good to know that there is such a possibility that we have this kind of this kind of tool to make it a little bit cleaner if we want to. So then we're still in the same position and the same chord. It's still D6, but we're going to shift B note on 12th fret and do 2 consecutive bends. Release. So these are 2 quick bends. Okay, let's put everything that came before. Okay, and we're gonna continue with the rest of the bar. So we have 9th of the chord and 6 bent to 7. So in this way, D chord became D7. It's a very clever thing. So it's like having D, D6, D7. So like there's this little shift that will point us back towards A major chord that is going to be in the upcoming bar. So again. Now, whenever I release a note, let's have a look at the score. So here in the second bar, there are 2 bends. Then there is a just straight note on the 12th fret, and then there's again short bend on 12th fret, same note. And the way I deal with that is I release the note before it's played, so you can't really hear the transition. So it's just up, release. So there's no coming back to the note before it was bent. There's quite a cool vocal quality to it, which is actually quite interesting because it's almost like trying to emulate Buddy Holly's singing. He had this hiccupy thing that was very, very characteristic to his singing style. So I think that there is just a little hint of that captured in this little line. Okay, from the top. Okay, and another phrase that we have in there. Pretty cool. Shift in position to A major chord shape on the 12th fret. So it starts on 10th fret, second string. Then there's a very short slide onto C sharp on 14th fret. And then again I use my ring finger to do a little pivot point. I roll it across 14th fret to play F sharp on the first string. And then it's 13th, 14th, and 12th on the first string. Okay, let's have a look again at the tab and notation. Then we have another phrase, because this solo is very short. It's just 8 bars, but it's 8 bars really well used. I mean, there's everything in here. There's harmony, there's a melody, there's a solo that has vocal quality, and at the same time, it has a very organized rhythmic structure. It's almost all very even 8 notes. So there's a rhythm element to it too. Okay. So here's another phrase as we played this A6 to A7, and now we have 3 consecutive bends on 14th fret. So it's bend, bend, bend. Every single one of them is bend. So again, there's no drop in the pitch as I play them. So basically, I start my bending right the moment I pluck my string. That's the whole phrase, and it's being ended by notes E, C sharp, B, and A. And I put a little dots on top of the notes, which suggest that they should be played as a short notes, as a staccato notes. And also there's a palm muting, but it's very gentle. It's barely in there. I mean, you can obviously hear that the quality of the phrase changes a little bit, but it's not like it's a completely dead mute staccato. It's barely anything. Okay, let's have a look at the next phrase. And it's almost the same idea as we had at the beginning of the solo, with a slight shift in the phrasing, in the rhythm. So again, we have D major triad, 10th, 10th, 11th. But we have bend, release, onto 12th fret and 10th fret again. And there is a finishing of the phrase. And there's nothing really challenging in here. And here's where the fun starts. For the B7 chord that is coming next, we have a bar that starts with 8-note rest. So this phrase is gonna start on end of 1. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So what we have in here is basically B7 chord spelled. So we have a B, D sharp, F sharp, A, which is 7th of the chord, 6 and 5th. And to make it sound nice, tiny little detail that makes it sound really nice. Just putting a little slide. It's down from nowhere. It's not from particular note. It's just is the fun part, which is a little bouncy legato thing. So what I do in here, on every beat of the bar, on every 1, 2, 3, 4, I play my E string, and then right after every beat I have 2 16 notes, and the first one is picked and the second one is a pull-off onto open A string. And although this A string doesn't really fit well with the chord, it's kind of like a passing note. It's very short, so it doesn't sound that bad in the context. So and in terms of picking, I saw Tommy Allsup playing this on a couple of videos because he was still around. He passed away in 2017, and there were plenty of occasions when he actually performed Buddy Holly songs that he played on. And in this particular case, I could see that he was using 2 downstrokes for both of strings. So it was down, down, pull off, down, down, pull off, down, down, pull off. So, and the last 2 notes are open E and B on 2nd fret. So here is the phrase, the last bar. And in the tempo, original tempo of the song is it goes roughly, and this is a quite important moment because this is where the rhythm section stops, and this little part is pretty much on its own, and it's quite important to have it very clear. And yes, it happened to me that I played with some bands that didn't manage to stop at this moment. It's quite frustrating. It was quite frustrating to get this phrase done when there was no break in the rhythm section, and it was just completely drowned with everything else, because these are muted notes. They're short, so they don't cut through a roaring band. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let's have a look at the whole thing again. There you have it. Tommy Allsup solo from It's So Easy to Fall in Love by Buddy Holly. Great solo, worth knowing. I'm gonna put the whole score on the screen right now. I hope it's gonna be visible and clear to read. If not, I'll just put the link in the description. So these are first 6 bars, and here are last 2 bars. Okay. So if you have any questions, fire away. I'll be always happy to answer. Maybe there's one more thing that I could show you from the same tune, because there's a little break after every vocal parts. So what it is just what I'm doing in here. It's basically A major chord in 9th position, and I hold 9th and 12th fret, And then what I'm doing in here is 2 fingers on 12th fret on first and second string. So it's this sort of parallel bend that I showed in one of my previous live streams on bending strings. So it's a whole bend to whole step while holding first E string, and it ends on 11th fret of G string. Just E on 9th fret. Then it's bar across 2 strings, second and third, ending with double stop on 9th fret, 2 middle strings. Then it's just like it started, 9th, 11th, and 10th on second string. And this is a cool thing because this is a chromatic movement of major thirds, so I'm just keep my fingers flat. On 7th fret, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 7. Then it's a 6th fret on the G string and A major chord. So 7th, 6th, and 5th fret. Interesting thing, Tommy also played almost something identical on Bobby V's Bouncing Ball. It always sounded like, wow, it's almost could be the same player. It's actually, it was the same player. It was almost the same part. So yeah, quite cool to have a player who is, you know, coming up with this kind of ideas, which may seem a bit rudimentary because these are just chord notes, but these are quite clever choices that they serve the song. And there are plenty of other great tunes that Tommy also played on, but you know, from Buddy Holly catalog, it's I think that one of the most notable solos was in Heartbeat, which also used kind of this double stops and the whole solo is for, you know, for the whole video on its own, because again it's it contains all the great ideas, all the chordal things, all the nuances of the articulation, mutes, tiny little bends. Everything is just, you know, very well balanced, and it's something that I think was, you know, quite ahead of times in terms of rock and roll playing, when the rock and roll was still a melting pot of all the styles, and it was really great to hear this kind of sophisticated part in there. So yep, all right, thank you for watching, and hopefully see you guys in the next stream. Bye bye.